The morning Ethan's life began to change didn't look special at all. The sky was painted with a dull gray, the air smelled of fresh bread from the bakery on the corner, and his daughter Lily hummed softly beside him as they walked toward the pharmacy. But then he saw her, the same woman he'd seen for weeks, struggling to adjust something on her wheelchair, her blonde hair falling gently over her tired face. Ethan didn't know her name. He didn't know her story. Yet something in her eyes, a quiet mix of pain and courage, pulled at him every single morning. And that day, as her hand trembled while she tried to lift a small bag resting precariously on her lap, he felt something inside him crack open like a fragile shell. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that restore faith in people, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing life-changing stories. Ethan was a single dad whose life had narrowed into a careful routine ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier after a long illness. His days were a blur of early shifts, school drop-offs, budgeting every penny, and fighting the quiet heaviness that lived in his chest. Lily was his anchor, her laughter the only light he had left. But even she had begun asking him why he always looked so sad when he thought she wasn't watching. He never had an answer. The woman in the wheelchair, however, was a mystery that somehow gave shape to his mornings. Every day, just as he and Lily would reach the pharmacy corner, he would see her trying, with visible struggle, to manage simple tasks, picking up her prescriptions, balancing bags, adjusting her wheelchair brakes. The world moved around her with unforgiving speed, and yet she never complained, never raised her voice, never showed anger. There was a grace in her stillness, even when she was clearly fighting her own battles. Ethan started helping her without even thinking about it at first. One morning he lifted her bag. The next, he wheeled her slightly over a bump in the sidewalk that always gave her trouble. Soon it became a routine, Ethan and Lily arriving just in time to help her open the pharmacy door or carry her things. She always thanked him with a soft smile that never quite reached her eyes, as though something inside her was still locked away, trembling. Rainy mornings. Cold mornings. Mornings when Ethan felt so broken inside he didn't want to speak to anyone. Yet every single day, he found himself turning toward the pharmacy, hoping he'd see her again. Not out of obligation, out of instinct. Out of something deeper he didn't allow himself to name. Lily loved her too. She would chatter excitedly about school, about her drawings, about the little things children notice that adults forget to appreciate. And the woman would listen, smiling gently, as if their presence made her mornings slightly less heavy. But behind her soft gratitude, Ethan sensed a shadow. Something she wasn't saying. Weeks passed, and Ethan found himself thinking about her more and more. He wondered about her past, her pain, her strength. He wondered why someone so warm carried so much sadness in her eyes. He wondered why he felt drawn to her in a way he hadn't felt drawn to anyone since his wife. Then one morning, everything changed. The day was unusually bright, sunlight spilling across the storefronts like melted gold. Ethan spotted her right away, sitting near the pharmacy entrance, but something was different. She looked nervous, anxious even, her fingers twisting around a small piece of paper she kept glancing at. When Ethan approached, she didn't smile. For the first time, she looked directly at him with a rawness he hadn't seen before. And before he could ask if she needed help, she whispered something that froze him where he stood. She told him she didn't come to the pharmacy for medication. Not anymore. She came to the corner because she hoped she'd see him and Lily. She admitted she had been living alone, struggling not just with her disability but with loneliness, grief, and the feeling that the world had no place left for her. She told him that his kindness had become the one thing she looked forward to every day, something that reminded her she was still human, still seen, still cared for. Ethan felt something inside him shift, something deep and fragile. She reached into her lap, lifting a folded document with trembling hands. It turned out she had applied for a special rehabilitation program, one that could possibly help her regain partial mobility. But she told him she had been too frightened to go through with it alone. Too scared of failure. Too scared of hoping again. And then she said the words that changed everything, "I need someone to believe in me, the same way you help me every morning." In that moment, Ethan realized that while he had thought he was helping her, she had unknowingly been helping him too. Helping him rediscover compassion, courage, and the quiet warmth he thought had died with his wife. She had awakened something inside him, hope. Ethan promised he would be there for her, not just in the mornings but through the entire journey. And Lily, with her innocent certainty, clapped her hands and said they were a team now. Something about that simple declaration made the woman's eyes fill with tears, tears that belonged not to sorrow, but to release. Weeks turned into months. Ethan accompanied her to appointments, therapy sessions, and difficult milestones that tested her strength. Her confidence grew. Lily adored her. And Ethan found himself smiling again, really smiling, for the first time in years. By the time the leaves began to turn golden and drift from the trees, the woman wasn't just someone he helped in the mornings. She had become part of their lives, part of their laughter, part of their healing. And Ethan realized something quietly beautiful: the universe brings people together at the exact moments they need one another, even if neither of them understands why at first. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us spread more stories that remind the world how powerful human kindness can be. Before we end, we'd love to know, would you help a stranger every morning if it changed their life, and maybe yours too? Comment your answer below. And with that, their story of healing, hope, and unexpected connection began, a reminder that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest miracles.